Tess?
Yeah, Tess.
What's your last name again?
Yancey.
Yancey? Okay, so I was pronouncing it right.
Yeah, Tess Yancey.
What's your heritage?
It's definitely a mix. I did the ancestry.com thing for like a few years ago. Um, so I'm 50% English, and then I'm also a little bit French, a little bit Swedish,
Oh,
a little
nice.
bit from Ghana.
Really?
Yeah, and then Native American.
I wonder how accurate those tests are.
I feel like they're pretty accurate. Like my dad is like he's just a very light-skinned black guy, and then my mom's white.
Oh, wow.
And so but he is like he just kind of is also the same, like fairly like ethnically ambiguous. So we kind of just like fit wherever, but he has like much more textured hair. Like he had an afro and everything when he was younger. So
You do have like some dark features in the face. It's not like typical white girl.
yeah,
You know what I
a
mean?
bit exotic. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife, she's from Ohio and she's like white. You can't get any whiter than she is. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's very white. And then we just had twins, and so our kids
Oh.
are like, I feel like mixed babies make the most beautiful human beings in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually have a twin as well. Like twin girls run in my family
Oh,
every generation.
really?
Yeah.
So who the hell am I really talking to then? Is it you or your twin?
Yeah, it's just me. It's just me this time, but it's always fraternal, not identical twins.
Oh
So that's
yeah.
good.
Well,
Get to be
same.
our own person.
Same. So my yeah, it's
Oh,
fraternal too.
really?
Yeah, a
Wow.
boy and a girl. Are y'all still close?
We're not close at all. We don't talk.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, we don't talk.
Is it?
Yeah. But she needs to find her own way in this world and then she'll come back. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried.
Wow. Dang, that's tough. So you're like all over social media. You're into fitness and stuff like that. And you do modeling. How did you stumble into this? Was it planned, or is it kind of like an organic thing that happened? This podcast episode is brought to you by Signature Touch. Signature Touch is veteran owned and operated, and it was started by my wife and myself with a mission to provide the highest quality, all natural skincare products made from ethically sourced ingredients. We have body butters, lip balms, and deodorants, and the best part is you could use it on yourself, and they're safe for everyone in the family, including your children. My wife's favorite body butter is Bernilla. It's made with bergamot and vanilla botanical extract. People say it smells like key lime pie. My favorite is Lavensense. It's made with lavender essential oil and frankincense. It makes your skin feel so nourished, but it's also good on bug bites and rashes. Check us out today. The website is oursignaturetouch.com. Use code JLA to receive 10% off your first purchase. The website, it's oursignaturetouch.com.
I guess it was planned. Like I always wanted to be a model. Like when I was a little girl, I watched Project Runway the first season. I watched America's Next Top Model. I grew up watching that. So I always wanted to be a model, but it really didn't happen for me until like 8 years ago. So like I was a senior in high school and I was finally like didn't have braces anymore. I didn't have as bad of acne anymore. And like I was, an athlete. And so I had an opportunity from like a local photographer named Molly Sealing, and she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, would you want to model a little bit for me for like some senior photos?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that sounds amazing." So started from the bottom, like hustled in Denver, Colorado, like where I'm from, and was just making pretty good money like on my own and not really I don't know, I didn't really realize like what was happening, but I just enjoyed the hustle of making a little bit more money here and there. And then fast forwarding to now, I've been through a few different agencies, like walked in different runway shows. I've done Miami Swim Week. I was going to
Wow.
do New York Fashion Week just last week, but I ended up getting sick, so I couldn't make it. But I've always just been like a really intense athlete. I played sports in college. I played soccer and I ran track at Tufts University. Um, and yeah, I was always just like passionate about being healthy, being fit. feeling beautiful inside and out. And so I did a little bit of like, I had my Instagram like fitness coach phase where I got certified as personal trainer and all that stuff. But it really, once I started pushing to do my own business and work with clients, it didn't really resonate with me anymore because I have the drive and I have the and the passion, but other people don't. So it's
Mm.
frustrating to be a coach and like there's just it takes a lot to run a business on your own, like at my age, and it just wasn't a good fit for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not waking up every day and loving this, so I just want to focus on like modeling and doing my corporate job now and focusing on getting signed with a bigger agency because I'm the right size, the right person at the right time, and I feel like I'm being recognized like for my own size and my ethnicity and like who I am. So I'm hopefully going to get signed here in Miami with a bigger agency, and we'll see how it goes. But otherwise, I still make good money, so I'm happy.
That's cool. The fitness online fitness coach or uh, yeah, business, that seems it's like really oversaturated online because everyone's
Yeah,
an online coach. So it's got to be tough too to market yourself in a different way than the next person is because everyone's a holistic coach now, certified. There's all these certifications too, like these nutritional health,
yeah.
exercise science certifications. Like I don't even know what it all means anymore.
It's definitely one of those things where like if you want to work with a legit person, they should be working with like the major corporations that run or educational platforms that run those certifications. But it certainly is hard to get lost in the noise. And like a big part of that is just having the budget to push yourself past to that audience that you actually want to reach. But in general, there's a lot of people out there who, yeah, they're just like selling bullshit and
Mm.
misinformation. And I've always had really positive experiences. I've had trainers like since I was like a small child and nutrition training and individual trainers outside of my sport. So I know what it looks like to have a trainer that's like, just absolute boss mentor, like the exact person you want. And at least for me, I was like, yeah, like I'm not supposed to be that person for people online. Like it's just it wasn't for me. But I'm happy that other people can do that. I certainly am not passionate enough to stick with it.
Yeah, it's also a different thing because you're connecting and coaching people virtually. You know what I mean? Like you're not
Yeah.
there watching them, giving them those little subtle enhancements on how to do certain movements or anything
Yeah.
like that. So you're kind of just trusting them that they're going to do what you wrote out in this online form somehow.
Yeah, and like a lot of it has to do with like their reason why
Mm.
they're working out and why they want to get fit, and if their why isn't strong enough, there's only so much I can do. And I really just looked at like, oh, maybe I can do in-person training and I can switch to that, and then realize like that's not enough money for me for my standards, and for what I want to do with my life. So, that time spent in person versus like the time I could spend doing other things, making a lot more money. Like I just shifted my focus, and I still train every day. I'm still a bikini bodybuilder. I'm like 10 weeks into my prep right now,
Wow.
so I'm about like 8 weeks out. I had to move my show out, so I still focus on that really heavily for myself and my boyfriend. But otherwise, like it was way too stressful financially and being a business owner to do that. So I felt like I still had other things to learn before I
Yeah.
pursue something on my own.
Is Miami the spot where you want to reside long term, or is that just kind of the where you're at now phase?
That's a really good question. I've only been here for about a month, so we've been loving it, and we'll see. Like we're here until next September, I'm pretty sure, and then we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm really interested in like gaining more traction, just owning investment properties. So at this point, like if I can afford to stay here and also still travel and check up on properties and do that work, then that's kind of the goal. But In general, like I'd love to move to Europe. I've been saying that
Oh
like
wow.
since I was 16 when I used to travel there very frequently with my family, and I've done some solo trips there as well. And I'd love to settle down in Europe. But right now we'll see. Maybe next year. It
Yeah.
just depends on how everything goes.
Are y'all buying investment properties in Florida or just anywhere?
Um, we kind of do it separately. We've had conversations, but honestly, like I'm looking in markets where I think I know a little bit more and have resources and teams to where like especially when it comes to like contractors and things of that nature, like when I start getting to that point like in Q2 of next year when we're really looking at purchasing or I'm really looking at purchasing something, I want to make sure I have the right team of people working with me because I'm a girl, I'm young, don't have all the experience, and I don't want to, and I am serious as fuck and I don't want to be taken advantage of. So it matters a lot to me to have the right team around me to make sure that the timing is right. So probably not Florida for other reasons of insurance and things being very expensive out here.
Yeah. Well, that's dope. Yeah, Florida's, it's beautiful. And a lot of people are moving to that part of the country, but also Texas too. There's a lot of people. I live in the Houston, Texas area. There's
Oh,
a
nice.
lot of freaking people moving out this way. But it makes me want to move
Yeah.
to Tennessee. Like a lot of people that have born and bred in Texas, they're all leaving to Tennessee and all these new people are coming to Texas. So it's pretty cool to see.
That's cool. Yeah, my boyfriend's from Houston actually. He's
Really?
from I think it's called Cyrus. I don't want to say
Cyprus. Cyprus.
Cyprus, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where he grew up, but yeah, we still come to Houston like every few months to see his parents, and so
Yeah.
I have yet to like get into the city of Houston and go out, but we'll be there in December for Christmas. So I'm looking forward to like getting a better lay of the land. And yeah, Texas is definitely on our list of places to keep in mind for investment properties, but I don't want to get to that market too late where I feel like it's like I don't want to pay to play when I'm getting in late. I'd rather pay to play when I'm where I'm getting in early.
You know,
So
early.
we'll
Yeah.
see if it's still a good decision at that point.
Yeah, Houston's dope to live in. It's kind of got like the nice spot where it's like it's a big city, but you can live on the outskirts and still have that country, like and that country vibe, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's
And
kind of
there's
a
some
nice
beautiful
mixture.
suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So do you manage all of your online content? Like, do you create everything yourself and take your own pictures and photos and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I learned that really from an agency I was with before that definitely just wasn't a good fit for me as I continued to grow and didn't align with my goals and how I wanted my brand to look. But I did learn a very valuable lesson, which is like you don't need to shoot with other people if you have one person that can help you. I'm like very lucky and my boyfriend's really supportive, so he shoots my content and we just rent a camera. So he'll take all my pictures that you see on Instagram, and then when I didn't have content, I'll post like something from a shoot, but I typically don't do that. I like the way that my feed looks and I like it for that reason. So I'm very particular about what I do post on my feed. And if I do post it, it's definitely a paid shoot. Because I don't work for free anymore. It's just not worth my time, and I'm not exactly passionate about it because that's not where most of my the most money is being made. So it's
Dang.
kind of yeah,
So
I
so
focus on yeah, just my boyfriend and I for content creation.
that's cool. So y'all actually rent a camera. Are you gonna eventually buy one?
Yeah, and we've talked about that, and it's hard because they're the quality that I'm used to from the agency is something I wanted to carry on leaving them and joining this new agency that I'm really happy with. So the I'm renting like Nikon Z9s and Z7. Like those cameras are 10 grand just the body of the camera, and
Yeah.
then the lenses are anywhere from 7 to 10K. So easier to rent for 4 or 5 days for like 250, $300, and shoot 20 looks during that time, and then kind of just batch the content as we go, but it would be nice to have the camera because then we're not under a time crunch and it's a little bit more natural creatively. So hopefully, by the end of the year, I can make that something that I want. But right now, like I'm kind of happy with the batching content. So until I feel like I need to buy the camera and have it all the time, then for now I'm happy with what's going on. But it's
No,
probably the same like monthly payment.
no, but I mean that's a good option. Me and my friends were filming a documentary on regenerative agriculture, and we
Oh wow.
between all of us we have pretty legit setup. You mentioned the Nikon. I have a Nikon Z6 II, and
Nice. Okay.
that was expensive. The lenses are expensive. And my wife's a photographer, so she has Nikon. So that's the only reason I went with Nikon. But everyone who actually shoots video shoots with Sony, which I'm sure you're
Yeah.
familiar of. So I'm looking to buy the Sony FX3, and then that way I can collaborate on this documentary more with my gear. But it's a large
Yeah.
swap. We're so invested with Nikon. We got so many different lenses, all the gear, all the little, we got the body cages for the gimbals and all that shit.
Wow.
So it's just gonna be a switch that we're gonna have to make. But I don't know. I kind of think I made a bad mistake. I should have just went with the Sony right off the bat. But I don't know. It is what it is.
It's hard. Yeah, I was like, it's hard to know what's right, like especially as projects come up. But yeah, I highly recommend. If you ever need to rent the camera, like I was
Yeah.
really impressed with the service and everything is covered, and yeah, I thought it was awesome. But we did some video on the Nikon too for my feed as well, and it looked great.
Yeah.
Like I've only posted one video from that, but I was like, holy shit, like I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's way better quality than the stuff I was getting from the old agency. They were only really focused on picture content, and I was like, yeah, like that's pictures are dead on social. So like let's focus on video.
Yeah, that's weird. The shift just within the last couple of, I guess, the last 12 months, maybe 2 years, where it's yeah, pictures are basically obsolete. It's all video now. You have to post videos.
Yeah. Yeah, to grow for sure. Like I think some people, they've always had amazing photo content, and that's something like I'm really passionate about. So I'm never going to stop posting photos because it's just part of like being a model and like sustaining that cultural, I don't know, like the model culture of photography. But I think to grow and to reach a larger audience, it's like crucial to be doing video, period, even if you don't like it. Like
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah.
So do y'all edit all y'all's own stuff too? Do y'all have like the Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or what? Like, what do y'all use?
Um, I edit everything and I actually just do it all like on Instagram. Like
Nice.
for video edit or for photo editing, I'll use like Face App and stuff to like correct like skin issues or like whatever like things in the background. But honestly, I barely edit my pictures and I don't edit my video at all besides just cutting it. Because I just don't have the time to learn, and I don't, I can't like afford to pay my boyfriend to learn how to edit it like that. So if I ever do, it's like I'll just go on Fiverr and find someone who can produce some really good content for me. But at this point, like I edit everything, I create everything. Um, yeah.
It looks really good. It looks real professional. Like, so whatever you're doing is looking great. So I assume that you're using Lightroom or something to edit your photos in because they look good.
Mm-mm. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. I'll let everyone think that. So yes, I use that.
It's that Nikon Z9. I played with it. It's freaking badass, man. That Z9 is nice.
And we shot with the Z7 or yeah, the Z7 last time, and hopefully we can do the Z9 next time. And I don't know, I'm always like blown out of the water just because I knew what it was capable of the pictures I was getting from my old agency and like how well they were performing. But really like I'm just excited to continue to like see that part of my relationship and like my creator journey grow.
Yeah. You know, in the beginning, you said you wanted to be a model. Did you ever think that you would have this social media platform, like social media, a thing that you could make money off of? I'm assuming you're making money off social media, right?
Yeah, I do. And really the biggest, I didn't ever like, I guess like I dreamed of being a model, but I never like said it out loud because my parents are doctors and like there wasn't an expectation. Like my parents are amazing. I never felt pressured to be something. I just would tell everyone like I wanted to be a boss. Like that's what I want. That's what my parents would tell me that, if you ask my parents like what I wanted to be when I grew up, like they would just say like a boss. Like that's what she wanted is to be a boss. And so that's really as far as it goes. But I really didn't get the platform that I have now until I joined the last agency I was with, and like they really helped me grow on Instagram, which is what I needed to like get some of these opportunities and like really gain traction and make money on social media. But in the end, like they ended up not being a good fit because strategically they weren't providing what I needed. They didn't have the bandwidth, to help me grow on other platforms and help refocus what was needed to continue to have me grow, which is video and TikTok and all these other platforms where like I'm definitely the person that will put in all the work plus some, but if you don't tell me what to do and you don't know what you don't know, it's just like the whole issue with social media is like a lot of information is not gatekept,
Right.
but you do need help. Like you do need someone to be like, hey, like you should be posting this, like posting this, like change this here, look at this hashtag, post at this time. And it's all stuff that I've done before. Like I was a marketing and branding manager for forever. I've run other people's social media, but it's very different when you are trying to convert on your on your body, like pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
So there's a different world to it, but I've been very happy with the team I have now. They're fantastic.
It's a lot to deal with. The fucking hashtags, posting at certain times. My wife and I, we have a natural, it's not just a skincare business, but we do like natural lotions and detergents and stuff. Like our entire mission is
Oh
to
wow.
like help you reduce your toxic load. So we want to like
Right.
we use like ancestral based like we I don't know if you heard of tallow. Have you heard of tallow before?
I have, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we make like
Familiar.
tallow body butter, like tallow arm deodorant, and then we're also making soap
Wow.
and laundry detergent. But yeah, that's the whole mission. But posting at certain times and then the hashtags, like, and we create our own content too. Um, it's just a lot to fucking deal with. You know what I mean? Like, you have to post at this on Wednesdays at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Hashtag this. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where like there are a lot of people, there's space for everyone to be successful, but not everyone will do the work. And that's where you see people like not doing as well as they potentially could. Doesn't mean that they're not doing a good job, but that's where you start to see it fall apart, or you see a lot of people who maybe are in the same follower range as me, but are not nearly making as much money as I am, or they, have way more followers and they're making no money. So there's, I don't know, there's more than just one way to do it, but you have to be consistent and disciplined. That's like the name of the game. Honestly, it's hard
Yeah.
because I work in CPG as well, so like I work with companies like yourself, and I manage their brands and help to get them placements in grocery stores and the natural and specialty channels. And
Nice.
so I enjoy that job a lot, but I certainly when people ask me about social media, I try to veer away because it's like the ROI is not going to be there for
Yeah.
the most part. But I always tell them it's about consistency and discipline, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like you're probably not going to see the ROI from it, like if you're not being consistent and disciplined, but you have to do it, and that's the hardest part is starting and doing it every single day. It's not about being motivated; it's about doing the damn thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. We always talk about um, like posts. I don't know how to say this, I guess, but views don't equate to sales usually. but staying consistent posting every day usually does. Like I don't know, that really doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can post a reel and get like, 5,000 views and maybe we'll get a sell out of that. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I think but staying consistent posting every day always equates to sales. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you see the same
Yeah, it's
thing.
compounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly compounding. And it's one of those things that I think people are like, "Oh, I could get 20K views and I'll get 5 sales." And then like I know that, maybe it's going to keep going, and it's like, no, like, you have to re-engage with the customer on multiple different touch points and, be there for them and, create value that they can actually be a repeat client or recommend us or whatever it is. But it certainly is it certainly is very daunting for people because it is uncomfortable to put yourself out there. But the more you practice, like, the more you'll get better, the more comfortable you'll get, and then like it will eventually convert. Like, because I've had times like with the coaching is a great example. Like I worked on that project for a year and a half and really didn't make any money at all. Lost quite a bit of money doing that. But I tried for a year and a half and I felt like, actually this isn't me. So there's more than one issue, but I always stayed consistent when it came to that. So
Is there a lot of pressure on yourself mentally to stay fit? Because since the type of modeling you do, is it compounding on your mental health? I guess to always work out, eat clean. Like how do you manage that on a day to day basis?
in terms of like the mental strain it puts on me, I love it. I love being an athlete. I love my body and like having the ability to like lift weights like 5 times a week. I do cardio 7 times a week, but that's because like I also do the bikini bodybuilding. So like I'm on a very strict diet and very strict schedule. Like I have a coach, I have a posing coach, like I have a team on in everything I do, I have a team of people that are virtual somewhere on the planet because I have people everywhere. um but it's only mentally taxing when I've been in a deficit like I have been for a long time, 10 weeks in a deficit or I'm going to be hitting like 18 weeks by that time. It becomes difficult just because like your cortisol levels are higher and I try to think of it in a very rational way so that I don't get frustrated with the situations around me or my partner because I'm hungry and tired. And so like really the biggest thing is like thinking about my body as like a tool, like
Mm.
something that I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm blessed that I can do all these things and pursue all these things that I want, but it's more just like I don't really struggle with the idea of like, oh, I'm too skinny or like I'm not what someone else wants because I don't really care about that anymore. Like I am the right size. Like I am who I need to be. So I think it's hard for people to get past that. But I think because I'm an athlete and I have a focus in my like, daily goals for my physical and eating habits that it allows me to have freedom in like the way that I think about my body. But it's certainly like I'm certainly like very confident and I it's hard. I see a lot of people struggle or like other girlfriends or even guy friends that have come to me like, how do you do it? All this stuff. But it's really because like I have a plan and I don't stray from the path like ever.
Right.
So yeah.
Did you ever struggle with y- like thinking that you're not the perfect size, you don't have the body you need to market yourself? Did you fight with that in the past?
Yeah, I did. Definitely when I was younger, I struggled with that in college because I was like partying and dealing with other things in my
Mm.
life that kind of led me astray to not be as healthy. But like I had to learn those lessons, so like I'm not grateful for them. But um, it's definitely a struggle because fashion is fashion, so it's always changing and the demands will always be different. So like what's in today is not in tomorrow. what's good on, what's good in Miami on the swim week is not good in New York or Milan or Paris or London. Like it's never going to be the same. So really the biggest thing is like if no matter what, like I'm sorry, you have to be a certain size to walk runway. Like you have to be 36 hip or smaller to walk runway, period. Like
Right.
it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like I think it's great that people are getting opportunities and there's more diversity and representation of everyone, but at the same time like they're not here to fit you, you're there to fit the clothes. Like
Right.
you're not Versace or Gucci or whatever, like you're there to be a clothes hanger. It's not about you. And so I think that's probably my most controversial opinion is that it's not about you, it's about the brand. And if you're not the fit, then you're not the fit. It's not up to you. And it's not up for the world to decide that for a designer either.
Is it still that strict? Because I mean, I don't know anything about fashion. Promise you, nothing. But it seems like on the outside looking in, there it doesn't. You don't have to be a certain size. You don't have to be fit. They want like the hefty girls now. We love our bodies. No plus size. Is it still strict in the fashion industry, or are they just kind of like
um,
one, come all?
I think there's like a combination. I think for brands that make clothes for people that are larger, we'll do it.
Okay.
And that's the best answer I can give. But because I think with the designers, like they're unlikely to cast someone that's a size 10 or larger. Like I'm not going to speak for somebody's brand, but like it's just like, is are the people consuming their clothing that size? Well, no,
Right.
because they don't fit into that clothing. So like no, they're probably not going to have that much representation on the runway. That's not the audience. They're not catering to everyone because everyone can't afford their clothes.
Right.
So I think there's kind of a balance of that. But in high fashion, it's never going to change. I really don't think so. But for bikini, for more body positive sexuality, intersections with fashion, I think it's really powerful and important that like everyone feels seen and included because like who doesn't want to feel sexy and beautiful in their own body, but like your health comes first before feeling beautiful and sexy, even if you're anorexic and skinny, and people tend to like
Yeah.
as long as you love yourself and you're happy. Well, neither of these people are healthy or happy, but they say they love themselves, so like it's up, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the tough part. Like if you're supposed to love yourself and feel sexy in your own skin, all that shit, but at some point, like if you're 300 pounds, you're not healthy. Like you still love yourself, but you're not healthy. So you should love yourself into getting healthy, right?
Yeah, and it's hard. Like so many people come from different backgrounds, and they're struggling with so many things that are holding them back, and so it's hard. Um, I think to have that type of conversation with somebody, it'd be like, well, like I'm glad you love yourself, but you're not healthy because we're not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not those things. I'm not a therapist, so I don't know what's holding them back. But I think like even for myself, like I could look at what I'm doing right now and be like, hey, like it's a lot of strain on your body. Your blood tests show that your cortisol levels are really like, double what they should be, which is true. And, people would probably say we should stop. And I'm saying, no, I want to keep pushing. I want to do this show. So it depends on the person and how important their health actually is to the way that how important they think their health is in correlation to the way that they look,
Mm.
because there are a lot of people who are like, well, I look good now and I'm like in my 20s, and it's like, okay, well, when you're in your 40s or your 30s, like your metabolism and your body is changing, so it's
Right.
you need to change with your body and your health to continue getting better. And like that's how you should love yourself more than like your appearance. But it's so hard with all the pressures that we all have from social media and all the information that we get brought to us.
Yeah. Did your did you receive resistance from your parents or your family members from um, doing like sexy modeling or OnlyFans or anything? I don't know if you're on OnlyFans, but
I am.
you
I
are
am.
okay.
Yeah, I did a little bit. For the most part, my parents let me live my life.
That's cool.
They really, my mom's an emergency room surgeon and my dad's a child and adolescent psychiatrist. So when I like told them like it's obviously like worrisome and like I'm their child and they love me and they want me to be safe and everything, but I think they know that I'm not a doctor. I didn't get specialized. I didn't do that, but like I will hustle and I still will make it to the top, but if that is what's going to make me money and it's what's going to get there for me to stay focused on my financial and real estate goals, then like I think they recognize that like shit is hard out here. Like it
Mm.
is not how it used to be, and it is certainly not even how it used to be for someone that does become a med student and become a doctor and be in crushing debt. And like I think they, I never really worried that much about what they thought because they always let me have the freedom to do what I wanted and they would always support me. Like if I was, for soccer or for modeling or whatever, like they'll just be like, okay, it's great. What do you need? What can we fly you out there? Can we help you? Like, what do you need to make it happen? And like that's the biggest blessing is like to have parents who I never had, they never tell me what to do with my life. Like my parents have seen a lot of people die. And
Mm.
the point is you don't need to tell somebody what to do with their life. You need to let them decide because like, that's what it means. Like to really be a parent is like, yeah, like your kid has to fuck up and try. So I'm very blessed to like have had them instill that really deeply into me.
That's beautiful. No, that's awesome that your parents are like that. It's something I don't want to say I worry about, but I think about my daughters. I also have older daughters. One's 15 and then one is 12. And I think
Mm.
about how would I react if they started doing OnlyFans? And a part of me is like, no, I don't want them to do that. And the money part of my brain is like, holy shit, they can make six figures selling feet pictures or showing their butt. Like, that's not the worst thing in the world. They could be doing a job that they really fucking hate. You know what I mean?
Working minimum wage somewhere and not learning skills. Like I think yeah, it's one of those things where like I had someone ask me this, like if you or I met a younger girl who was like, should I start OnlyFans? Like I don't know, and
Mm,
she's gorgeous and all this stuff, and I was like, well, like like if you want to make like probably 2 grand a month or more, like and that would make a difference in your life, like consider it because like like if you I take the time that I get from doing OnlyFans to, read so much every single day. Like, where can I invest my money? Like, how can I, get a financial advisor? How can I, learn about wholesale real estate, I do private money loans as well. So, like, I took on all of these things, like, that I was interested in, knew nothing about, and just literally was like, I'll work for free. I don't give a fuck. Just teach me. And, like, I'll learn and continue to grow. So like that's where I think OnlyFans is like the best way to do it, but I think it's very difficult when it becomes your main source of income, which like it had been my main source of income when I was training people and using it to fund my business, but um if you don't look past like what it is for right now, then you won't capitalize on the fact that you're doing it. And so, and what you can gain from doing it. Because, like I have a whole agency. I have 10 people on my team. I have virtual assistants. I have people who run all of my pages. And so, I don't see what people are saying to me. I don't see any of my own content. I just send it in, it gets posted. I'm checking in every single morning and I've set myself up to really make that jump this year for myself. But I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, like if you want to do it, like it's not about getting over the hump of what people will think because everyone does it. Anyone who's a hot chick, who's anyone has an OnlyFans, and like if that's a problem, like you know, it's it's kind of it's up to them to decide how it affects like their life and how they
yeah.
see themselves and how they see themselves as a sexual object versus a person and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into considering it, but I certainly I encourage people to do like a corporate job and do OnlyFans on the side, because you're only going to be increasing your income. You're not relying on it, not putting that pressure on yourself, and then like you can learn more about how to like escape the rat race instead of being a part of it and just trying to make it.
Yeah. Well, Tess, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we're at 40 minutes here. How can people follow you online, get in touch with you, and all that good stuff?
Yes, so my main Instagram, which I need to change the handle, but it's okay. For now, it's staying what it is. It's Cross Your T's. That's my Instagram. You're welcome to DM me. I answer every single one of my DMs. I have a few other Instagram accounts, but I won't drop those because they're not as important. So you can Cross Your T's is my main. And then I also have TikTok. That one's Tess Yancey 1, and then Baby Tess 16. Those are my two TikToks. And then otherwise, yeah, like probably start some TikToks about real estate here in the next like 2 weeks or so. So I'll have get to share my journey and like all of the things that I've learned, and show people like what's up with actually doing OnlyFans and like making something out of your fucking life, because there's a lot of people who do what I do but they don't show it. And I don't know, I love to bring some more visibility to that journey.
That's cool. Well, you're very inspirational and very motivating. So I appreciate your time. I'll let you know. I'll send you an email when this comes out, and I'll tag you on social and all that good stuff. It'll be a couple weeks, but
yeah, thanks, you too. Thanks for reaching out. I'm pumped that we got to talk.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon. Later.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.